My name is Sherri Watkins. I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, and I now live in George West with my husband and my 2 sons. I'm a registered nurse, and I do home health. In 2009, I noticed that in the mornings, after rushing around and getting my children ready, by the time I got to work, I would start feeling pressure right in the middle of my chest. All of my nurse friends were all diagnosing me. It was my gallbladder, it was reflux, because at that time I was only 45 years old. And so sometimes nurses make the worst patients. At one point it felt like a knife going straight through the middle of your chest and out your back. And it would usually last an hour or so, and then it would go away. I was also diagnosed with high blood pressure, so when I went in for a checkup for that, he also did an EKG, and there was an abnormality. So he sent me to Dr. Bedruden. That's when I met her, which I thought, why am I going to see a cardiologist at my age?
And so I recommended that we do a stress test. The reason was that, women present atypically. And number 2, she did have risk factors. She had hypertension, her cholesterol was slightly abnormal, and she had family history of heart disease.
I think that as women, we tend to put everyone else first, and we're the caretakers. And in this situation, I feel like that may be why I didn't pursue it sooner, is I was just too busy taking care of everybody else and not myself. She checked me out and said that I needed to go to the hospital. So I went in to Spawn, and Dr. Del Miraju did my heart cath. And I thought I would sail right through it. It would be an easy thing, and it was an easy thing, but I failed. My life at that time was pretty stressful. I was working full-time. I had 2 young sons at that time. They were 7 and 10, and my husband works out of town a lot, so there were times where I was more of like in single mom mode. And so I would be getting my kids ready, getting them to school, getting their projects done for them, or helping them with projects, and then going straight to work. And by the time I got to work is when the chest pain would occur. I can say from looking back on what happened that I regret not pursuing an answer sooner, and I feel like I did sort of ignore my symptoms. I look back on what happened then and all the things that I've gotten to experience up till now, and how things might have been different if I had not been here. And I can tell you that we make it a point as a family. We go places everywhere together. We travel. We've been all over the United States, out of the United States. I've gotten to see my kids grow up. My son plays varsity football, and I'm a big football mom. All of those things I would have missed had I not been here, and I'm very grateful to still be here and blessed to have my family.
American Heart Association has done a tremendous job in promoting an awareness of heart disease. In US, a woman dies every minute from cardiovascular disease. For every 6 patients that die from heart disease, 1 dies from breast cancer. However, women are more afraid of dying from breast cancer than heart disease. To all the women in the room, I would say take action now. Make your heart a priority and don't take it for granted. Make right choices for your heart, and please don't be a statistic.
Since my stent and my hospitalization, I've worked really hard to reduce the stressors in my life. My husband is home more, and that's helpful to me. My kids are older and more self-sufficient. That's helpful too. And I have cut back on my work schedule. I work part-time now. and I try to fill my days with things that are upbeat and joyous and fun. My advice to others would be to listen to your body. Don't ignore your symptoms, even if you think you're being silly or that people might think that you're overreacting. It's better to get it checked out and not let it go so long. Had I let it go even a little bit further, Dr. Damaraju says I would not be here. I'm very thankful for the American Heart Association and the research that they have funded and the advances that have been made, because if this had happened to me 20 years ago, I don't believe I'd be here able to talk about it. My family and I ask you to open your heart for the American Heart Association.